Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying your day so far. I am so excited to talk about this book today. Oh my god, I am so very excited. And in fact, I have my Kindle here with me because I will share some quotations from the book. When I'm reading, I always highlight things that I enjoy. Sometimes it's just some, quotes that I could go by in my life. For example, I am done with things happening to me. From here on out, I'm going to happen to things. Isn't that good? Now, the book I want to talk to you about today is actually a novella, and it's called The Governess Affair by the author Courtney Milan. Now, this is the first book in the Brothers Sinister series. This is actually book 0.5, not even the first book. This is the prequel novella. It takes like 2 hours to read, and it was such a good read. It left me feeling so many things. I actually liked it more than the first book in the series, which is the Duchess War, which is actually quite a popular book. I didn't like that one, but I absolutely loved the novella. Now we have two characters. We have Serena and we have Hugo. And again, this is going to have spoilers, so be warned that this video contains spoilers. Now, Hugo is employed by this aristocratic lord. I forgot if he's an earl or a marquis or whatever he is. Hugo is his employee. And Serena, she used to be a governess at a place where that lord visited, and he basically forced himself onto Serena, and she's expecting a child. So she comes to the Lord's house and she basically waits outside on the bench all day because she's demanding something. She doesn't want her future child to have nothing. She wants the Lord to acknowledge the child and provide. And Hugo's job is to get rid of Serena. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I absolutely loved this about the book. You know how in many books, typically what happens, the female character, when she sees the male character, she's always like, wow, she feels this chemistry right away. She's always so amazed how he's so good looking. He's the best man she has ever seen. This is how historical romance usually goes. In this book, her first impression of Hugo is actually, he's nothing special. He has the type of face that, like everyone has this type of face. It's such a very common face. There's nothing special about him. There's nothing that stands out about him. So he doesn't stand out to her, but she feels that he's a safe person. And that's another thing that kind of got to me in this book. It just her feeling that he's a safe person. She's safe with him. And that was quite beautiful. And then what happens is Hugo feels attracted to her, and she also feels attracted to him. And I really enjoyed how there's no beating about the bush here. Let me read this part to you. When they slowed to pick their way across the street, Serena tried again. I don't understand why you're doing this. Yes, you do, he said, not looking at her. You understood perfectly well what is happening. We are attracted to one another, and it's inconvenient. He is attracted to her, and he tells her right away what's happening, and she's attracted to him. And in this book, they don't really want to be together. What Serena wants is to have provided for her child, and Hugo's job is to, get rid of Serena. So he comes up with a solution. He offers her to marry him, and that means that her child is going to have the protection of his name because the child is going to be born in a legal marriage. But he tells her right away that it's not going to be a love marriage. I will marry you and you can go to my house in the countryside, but I have my job. I have a goal of becoming successful, becoming rich. I don't care for family. I'm not made for loving. I'll help you, and that's it. And she actually accepts it, and then we get to see them have their wedding night, which is another beautiful thing because she has only been intimate with a man once when the Lord forced himself upon her. So we get to see her struggle before being intimate with a man. She actually cries. She thinks it's a duty. She wants it because she feels the attraction for Hugo, but it still feels like a duty, and she's scared and she cries. And the way he handles it was so beautiful. I don't have the words to describe it. He does something, honestly, you have to read this book. The way he approaches their marriage consummation, it's completely beautiful. It's a bit heartbreaking, but it's beautiful. And yeah, then she realizes she falls in love, and what he does is send her to the countryside, and there we witness another heartbreaking moment when he's sending her to the countryside. He's at the train station or coach station or whatever. She keeps saying, well, he's going to turn around, look at me, realize he loves me, and he's going to come and make me stay. And that just never happens. And it's so heartbreaking, even though we know that there's going to be a happy ending. At that moment, it's just so heart-shattering. It was quite sad. But then, of course, there is a happy end, and it comes in the form of Hugo realizing that him trying to be successful, trying to be rich, it's basically him trying to prove something to his father, who has passed away a while ago. His father was abusive to him, to his mother, to his siblings. He comes from a very unfortunate family, very unfortunate upbringing, and he has a lot of childhood trauma that he has carried with him to his adulthood. And it's interesting to get a little peek into his childhood and how it affects him as an adult. And when he realizes that his current actions are still governed by his father, by his desire to prove himself to his father, and he's letting go of the woman that he has fallen in love with, he quits his position for that lord and he goes to the countryside, and that's it. That's the happy ever after. Honestly, I absolutely loved this book. I loved how honest Hugo was from the start, honest to the lord he was working for, honest to Serena, honest about his feelings. The only time he was not honest was when he was lying to himself, thinking that he wants to be this successful rich person, he doesn't want a family. That was him lying to himself. And when he finally has that breaking point, that epiphany, that he doesn't have to prove himself to his father, that in order for him to be happy, he has to take a different route. It was beautiful to watch that epiphany. I enjoyed this book way more than the other ones in the series. And if you read the Brothers Sinister book, or the whole series that is, please do start with the Governess Affair. Again, it takes place before the book takes place, before the Duchess War takes place, and that lord who Hugo worked for is actually the father of Robert from the Duchess War. So it's good to have that, to read this book just to have that background, because the child that Serena has later on, that Hugo raises as his own son, there's also a book about him later on. So do yourself a favor, read this book. It's a beautiful read. It's refreshing. It's well written. I absolutely recommend it. If you have already read it, please let me know what you thought about it. How did you like Hugo's straightforwardness? I adored how straightforward he was about his feelings, his attraction for Serena, and I really enjoyed their interactions. I thought the book was very well written. Now, if you read the whole Brothers Sinister, Brothers Sinister series, which book did you like the most? Let me know. Maybe I will do a review on that one next. Thank you so much for your time. If you love reading historical romance like I do, please subscribe and talk to me in the comments. I'm looking for more friends who enjoy historical romance as much as I do. And please do give this video a like so that more people can discover this and more people can join our conversation about historical romance. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.